How's it going, YouTube? Welcome back to another video on the channel. Today we're going to be covering the top 4 match from the Austrian National Championship. Branded Despia versus Fire King. You're going to see more of this as we cover the national season. I think it's really good to see the deck in action and understand what goes on behind the thinking process of the players and just see how viable it is. The fact that not a lot of players are making it to the top is actually a good sign for me. It means the deck is not going to get hit most likely. And it does take an experienced player to run this deck successfully versus the other meta decks. Our boy Gerard starts off with normal Quem into an Albaz, which tells me two things. One, it's either a Cartesia in hand that they want live, or they have like full combo. Because if you have Branded Fusion, I think you most likely are going to send Cartesia. That's what I like to do. Because then you can special summon the Cartesia basically for free from the deck. Cartesia is in fact in hand. Activate the effect, summon it. Now, let's see if there's any extender. Branded opening now. Okay. That's interesting. So we have a way to get to Aluber. We basically have all the level 4s, and we discard the high spirits here. Okay. It basically means we have everything. The question is, like, how well do we play around Ash? I'm not sure. But we have a lot already. So it is fine, most likely. Aluber searches for the Branded Fusion. And let's see if there's an Ash on the other side. It resolves. So what do you go for here? You really want Lubellion here, I think. Albion, I'm sorry. You want Lubellion, the Bestial Lubellion, just to make sure you have Lost on the board so you can get a negate, and maybe you can pull off the Puppet Lock under Branded Lost. You have another card in hand which you might want. It's going to be Albaz and Lubellion here, because we want that access to... we banish the Aluber and the Albaz here, usually. That's the most standard. Aluber has a good effect in the grave, but, yeah. We can see the hand of our opponent is actually Island Wanted, Book of Eclipse, Talents, and one more card that I'm not sure what it is. So Lubellion, you discard the Thrust. It's fine to discard. It's probably the last card in hand too, because you saw like there's no interruptions. And you can also see people are playing just like more board breakers now, just because there's no negates. And you get the Mirror Jin. And I think that's absolutely fine here. You can do the whole puppet shenanigan on your opponent's turn. This is why we play 2 Granguignol. So we can pull off another, like one here, and then one on our opponent's turn. Under Branded Lost usually. So Branded Lost, now you would fuse with Cartesia. I mean, you could also wait for our opponent's turn, but there's really no reason to do that. You get the most value. Granguignol chain 1, Lost 2, and Quem brings back the Cartesia. That can make us... so here, right, what you could do, if you want to go straight puppet, right, what you could do is, it's a bit risky. Now that we know that they have Eclipse, it's a bit riskier, but you could search for a Fallen of Albaz here, because you're going to have a Cartesia on the board, right? So it's good in hand, because you can fuse with face downs, even though, like, yeah. And here you can just send the puppet, I think, from here. And I think you should be very good. Do you want the negate? In game 1, it's very unlikely that there are Bestials. So you might just search for a Fallen of Albaz here, to be honest. I might do that just because it gives you a lot of insurance. This is not Fallen of Albaz in the hand, but you do have Fallen of Albaz in the graveyard. So the Branded in red could be fine. Titaniclad can search the Albaz in the end phase as well. What do we send for cost here? Probably Retribution, because you already have like everything. You also have Opening, which is good to protect. You send another Albaz. If you draw the third one, that's kind of bad. Not really sure like why we need to send another one. I think he drew it. Freeze frame. Freeze frame. Did he draw the third Albaz, which is so bad? Okay, cut the deck. Draw. I think it's Cartesia. But you can still pass here. Pretty solid. You could also search for Retribution, but I don't think like game one, I wouldn't go there because it's very unlikely that there are Bestials. I also think like top four, you know what your opponent's playing. So what you could do here is during your opponent's main phase, you can activate Cartesia and then chain in red. And then chain one Gragnole. And then you're still like under, or like on resolution, you chain in red and you can summon the puppet under Branded Lost, which is obviously very good. So end phase, what do? We just add a Quem, kind of bad. That's why I wish he didn't, like you also missed out on the follow-up with not sending Retribution. And High Spirits comes back to hand. Maybe this is why we do it? No, there's no reason to do that. It's just a good discard. Okay, shuffle, shuffle, shuffle. Draw phase, Eclipse. That, I feel like that doesn't matter too much because we can still... well, now it kind of screws up our plan. Because we don't have this, right? Our hand is kind of dead. Everything's going to be face down, and that's very dangerous. So, do you even chain anything here? I really, honestly don't think so. You could just play with... Because thankfully, you can use fusions. I don't think you chain anything here. Like, you have to rely on your branded in red and branded lost in this scenario. Like, there's really nothing else that you can do. Yeah, everything just goes. That's fine. It's kind of dangerous, but I think it's still okay. Can also do... It's definitely tricky. Is that where they put the field spell? That is highly triggering. Very, very triggering. So this Ash is not going to be so impactful because like if we summon something, it's probably going to be under Branded Lost anyway, right? So realistically, what can you do here? Oh, something else that you could have done is just activate Mirror Jade because of the draw phase. It's not that bad. Activate Mirror Jade to banish even itself to get a Rainbird in the graveyard. That's just another interruption that you just missed on. And it's totally free. It's not going to matter like if you banish your own Mirror Jade because it's not going to come back. And then you can make another Mirror Jade. Very easily, by the way. Like any Link monster, and they usually don't have an interruption for that. That would have been much better. It's just like another interruption. I hope he doesn't lose here because it's very possible that you can lose this game. Very possible. You send this, no response. The question is like, what do you... So he went through... I think he has Island in hand already. He sent Garunic, so like now you know. Like, do you wait for the Island to make sure everything goes? Because you could, because Branded Lost will protect you from like, your Chimera is not going to get negated. And you could also technically maybe chain block. Depends on what you send. So, Fire King player still has Ponix and Island, I think. No normal summon yet. Sends these two for cost. Probably go for Oak. Oak brings back. And then Oak sends these two for Flambridge. Yeah. Wait. Why now? Why now? So what you could do... Like we haven't, like the opponent has normal yet. I probably would have not done anything here. Like, what do you care? Why do you even care? Because like, what do they do now? IP? Do they go into IP? Do they go into Relinquished Anima Dark? Take something, make a princess, but like they can kill you, but you can also just... Like, the Apo is not going to matter. If you are threatened by SP, I'd probably pull the trigger then. Because SP taking care of the Branded Lost is dangerous. But they just make another Mirror Jade, which is very, very low impact. You could send Rinbrum, which is going to be okay. And then Brand Lost grabs another negate. You banish the Flambridge now. Please Rinbrum. Okay. So it did that fine. You could have done that before as well. You banish that. That's very high value. And you probably search Mercurial here. So you have a negate. And that's your interruption. Like, that's it. And Albaz in the grave. Confused to make a Lubellion or something, but Ponix gets negated, which doesn't matter because you already have Island. And that's a horrible place to put a field spell. You get a Arvada or a Kirin here. Garunix in the graveyard is going to be insane. I think he can kill. He might be able to kill. Let's see. I'm not sure it's gonna matter because there might not be any targets for Albaz to fuse with, right? I don't think, like, if he doesn't go into a dark monster. If they do, then that's kind of crazy. So he summons Garunix from the deck instead. So from the hand, yeah. He could have done that from the graveyard and gotten an Arvada. That could have also been good. So Kirin pop doesn't matter at all. Ponix, and he pops. What did he pop? I'm not sure he even popped anything. Oh, he popped the Lost. Okay. So now that doesn't matter. He's just going to draw. Like, there's no way to take here. Okay. So now you have a free Albaz to make something. Right? You can make either like a Lubellion that can make you a Dragostapelia. It can make you anything. It can also make you Sanctifier, which can bring back this Mirror Jade. So, like, you go Albaz now, fuse with this, Lubellion, discard another card. You have no cards in hand. So Lubellion, discard, shuffle back one of the Albaz and one of the Spellcasters. Sanctifier, bring back this and, do something to your opponent's graveyard. And that should be kind of good, to be honest. Like, do we do that? We do that. We fuse. Let's see if it's a Dragostapelia. Wait, what? Was that a droplet? Oh, yeah, that's GG's. That is highly GG's, but that was the play, I think. I think that was the play. You really don't have anything and you just die. Just Princess OTK. You are dead. Yeah. If you would have sent Puppet with Granguignol, I don't know what he sent with Granguignol, but you had to send Puppet there. I know he's playing Puppet because I think I saw this replay like quickly just to make sure it's interesting. So, like, if you set up the Puppet early, even though he had the droplet there, but I think that's a droplet that he drew off of talents. So it would have given you a better chance. But Book of Eclipse, man, what a card. Yeah, check out my latest deck profile where we were contemplating on whether we should be playing it. So Florian goes 1-0 here. And normal summons Quem again. What's in the hand? I don't see. Oh, God. Okay. Let's maybe see if we can catch the hand here. Quem. That's duplication. And I can't make out anything else. So we'll see what they do. Normal summon Quem. We have, on the other hand, we have another Talents again. Send Brand Infusion, which means that they don't have any play with Engine. Like, they're going to have to, like, set Duplication Pass. Which is not that bad, by the way. It is not bad. It's actually full Puppet Lock with this setup. You just special Albion Sanctifier, you send Cartesia. And yeah, that's it. So what you can do in this situation is, like, in the main phase, you're going to have to do it in the main phase, and you're going to just have to pray your opponent doesn't have anything. If you want a Puppet Lock, Sanctifier, Albaz, and Do you have enough monsters in the grave? I think you do. Sanctifier, send Albaz and Cartesia. Quem summons back to Cartesia. Cartesia effect fuses, makes a Granguignol. Granguignol dumps. And then you have Puppet Cartesia to summon back with Albion. That's very easy, but again, like your opponent has 6 cards in hand, so maybe he has Mercurier in hand, which is not bad. Dude, this field spell placement, I really can't. This is very triggering for me. All right. So we start off with Divine Temple. We still don't make a move on Gerard's side. Plays the Oak. And now we go for the dupe. So why? Why like this? Like, why do you give them the option here to extend even and start the combo? Okay, so we go for Lubellion here. And we go chain 1. Discard Puppet. Okay, so we can make a Sanctifier, actually. And chain 2 Tragedy, I suppose. Like, is there a reason not to? And we just shuffle back to make a Sanctifier. So it's kind of like what I thought. You do get follow-up for the next turn, though. I'm not sure if he activated it. But then, yeah, just Puppet. And I think they chained Kirin in the hand. So they already have a Kirin. Wanted. Normal summon Ponix. Talents to draw. Like, this is a pretty weak Puppet lock, but they passed here. I mean, that should be game with Quiritus, right? Like, Oak can summon, put some bodies on the board. Make a Granguignol. Oh, he summons back the Tragedy, so he can use the effect again. That's like a lot of advantage, actually. And that's Shaddoll Dragon. Shaddoll Dragon pop the set. It's a wanted. Granguignol send what? Alba Lenidus. Is that the best set that you can actually... why? Like, Albion the Branded Dragon. There's no way that's not better here, right? And then you attack? Well, basically you can do everything on your opponent's turn again until they scoop. Once you have this in circulation. You obviously don't want to destroy the birds. But you can just destroy the Kirin. You can destroy the Kirin. It doesn't really matter. He just doesn't? He just passes on this. I wouldn't have given him so many monsters to play with. Like, why leave him on 5? I mean, he's obviously kind of stuck where it is going to seal the deal with, like, everything in attack position. Yeah. Puppet is good. Puppet is a good card. Yeah, unfortunately, Puppet is a good card. So game 3, 1-1. We have 15 minutes left. So if I'm Gerard here, I really want to see board breakers, obviously, because it's gonna be impactful, right? Yeah. So we're gonna see a full Snake Eyes combo, Snake Eyes Fire King, to be exact. We have an Apo. That's a pretty sick board. That is a pretty sick board. Yeah, for sure. So we start off with the Dark Ruler. I guess that makes sense if you want to start playing with monsters. Let's see what he follows up with. So everything is negated. Which is, by the way, which is fine. I think Dark Ruler evenly, those cards that make you give up killing are fine because Puppet locking going second is the viable shit. Like, it's really, really good. And you just clean them up, Puppet lock them when they don't have any resources to bounce back, and you win. So Allure digs into more board breakers, chain branded opening to make sure that we have a tragedy in hand when we resolve. That is a sick, very sick line. That way we can add a Luber, and now we hit them with a Duster. Okay. So the reason why I don't like this is that you could have... So look at what's going to happen now, right? Because we have Island. So So back row is going to go. It's going to be skill drain droplet island. Island is going to pop the monsters, but look at what's going to happen now. Amblo is going to summon back the IP. Garunix is going to summon itself and summon back the Arvada. So they should have Garunix, Arvada, IP on the board. Something like that. Yeah, and Ponix. Okay? So imagine if you just went... Like, there's no spell negates on this board. So you go Allure. You dig deeper. You start off with a Duster, and then you play the Dark Ruler. And then you just play freely, right? Except for like Princess, but like one Princess is not, it's not enough to deal. So now Aluber is going to get negated, even though you wasted your Dark Ruler on nothing. So this was a huge misplay, I think. Thrust. So let's see what they grab here. We grab the talents. Okay, so we might have Brand Fusion in hand or a way to Brand Fusion in hand already. Talents to look at the hand. It's Wanted and Bonfire. It's a Diabellstar and Bonfire. That's fair. You do look at the hand here because, like, if there's an Ash Blossom, it's going to kill this. So what do you make here? Kind of depends, obviously, on what's the last card in hand. You already activated Tragedy Effect. Like, it's not... I feel like it's not enough. So what you could probably do is just the Albion line. Albion to Lubellion. And then tribute the Albion branded... place branded Lost. But then you're going to get hit with the Masquerena. Like, you need to get to Mirror Jade as quickly as possible, basically. Because you want to prevent that. Because it's not going to be super impactful. Like, let's see how they play it. So we obviously sent Albaz and Cartesia. Lubellion is already in the graveyard. That makes sense. I'll be on the Branded Dragon. Chain IP, I suppose. Oh, Princess? And then you got a Chain IP, no? You don't Chain IP. Wait. So Princess target Garunix and Albion? And you Mercurier that? Why? First of all, you have opening in the graveyard. You have opening in the graveyard. And who cares? Unless it's IP that he... Yeah, okay. Chain IP. There we go. That's what we missed. So you definitely negate that. You definitely negate the IP last card in hand. It does change a few things here now because you don't have a discard anymore. Which does suck. So let's see how they play it. I think what you can do here... That's interesting. So let's see what they make. Well, that's a very easy Mirror Jade, if I ever saw one. So they did not use Branded Opening to protect. Which is fine, I guess, but you could make a nice square this here too, but you have to get to Mirror Jade. You have to get to Mirror Jade here. So they make... Okay. So that's interesting. There's a problem here, though. Let's see. So, like, Grangnol can send Titanic Lad here. Albion can add, like, High Spirits during the end phase. Titanic Lad can summon Fallen of Albaz, fuse with the Princess, make a Mirror Jade. You basically leave them on nothing. Like, nothing. Maybe, like, maybe there's a Snake Eye. No, there isn't because they banished the Wanted, right? So you can make a mean play here. And then this adds the Cartesia that you're missing. And you already have the... Yeah, I mean, you should win it from here. I don't see a reason why not. Queritus, that's already 5,000 damage. It's very good. The question is, are you gonna have cards in hand? Let's see. You don't want to, like, you probably go for the links. You go for the links. Arvada can summon now. That's so annoying. I don't know that I don't like leaving them with the IP, definitely. Like, you know the hand. Ambler Whale, target. To pop the Granguignol? Who cares? You still have opening? I mean, who cares? It doesn't matter if it's on the field or in the graveyard. So end phase. Let's see what's happening. He summons the Quam. You can make a Mirror Jade here, which I think kind of seals the deal. I think he's hungry for the puppet. I'm going to be honest. I think they're hungry for the puppet. They set... let's see what they set here. Probably in red. Okay. So if you still have Albaz in the graveyard, you can make a Mirror Jade with Queritus, but now it's like... It's kind of annoying in the standby. So you go for this. Make a Sanctifier, most likely. Is it time? It is time. There was Dark Ruler, though. So we didn't inflict any damage. Wait, how is this going to end? So our opponent is just going to kill us. Sanctifier in defense. Oh, no. No, no, no. And we have a princess in the graveyard? Chain? Okay. We don't have any cards in hand. No Queritus effect. Granguignol can also activate effect. Wait, what's happening, man? We summon a Luber. Luber effect, chain, fuse. There is a puppet here? No, but we missed out on it. There's an Arvada on the field, man. Oh, that's rough. They lose now. Yeah. So now they target Queritus and Puppet, and it's just going to be negated by Arvada. It has to be, right? Yeah. And that's Jover. Wow. Rough scenes. Rough scenes. Yeah, this was very complicated. Shout out to the duelists. Like under pressure, a lot of crunch. I think there are better lines that this was. There were better possibilities to play this out, but interesting to hear what you guys have in the comments below. I kind of enjoyed breaking this down, looking really deeply into the matchup, even though it's like a older, like Fire King is like not super meta, but it is seeing play. So let me know what you think. Shout out to the duelists. Of course, all is just like professional, critical thinking, not like any trash on the duelists. Don't trash them in the comments below. Thank you so much. Like the video, subscribe. See you in the next one. Peace out.